Fat. We're the Phat Peeps.
Hey peeps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phat Peeps podcast, episode number 10. I am one of your hosts, Joey Biscacci, and I am here with PJ,
Hello.
cameraman John,
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
and Garrick.
Hello.
And of course, we have a bunch of great nerdy and video game topics to discuss. But before we get to that, we always like to start the show with a bit of an icebreaker question. And today's icebreaker question is going to be, what is your typical order at Taco Bell?
I want to
Not
start calling them
sponsored.
zingers.
Zinger, zing, like that.
I don't
The
know.
leg
why.
intro?
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, the intro question. I kind of want to call them zingers. I don't
Hold on,
know
let
why.
me suck on this. Let me
Okay.
suck on this
We'll,
lemon
work,
slice.
we'll workshop that later.
It just came to mind when you were saying that. Taco Bell
Oh,
order.
I just almost saw the seed.
John's dying. It's okay, guys.
John, what's your Taco Bell order?
Yeah, let's hear
Oh.
John's. He called
Okay,
himself
I
out
just-
on this.
I just
Go
suckled
on.
on a lemon.
Okay. I'll do
oh.
mine first then.
Okay.
Take your time, recover. My normal one, because I did one different tonight. We did go to Taco Bell
Oh,
because
wow.
of the free
Whoa.
Taco Bell Tuesday Dorito thing. So yes, we do record Tuesday nights.
that was their secret.
Oh
though.
no, the behind the curtains. Normally I do 2 cheesy roll-ups. Keep in mind I don't always eat everything, unless I'm really hungry. But I'm always really hungry. That's my secret.
That's a
uh,
secret.
2 cheesy roll-ups, a bean and cheese burrito, 2 tacos, like crunchy tacos, and then for a while I was doing the taco what is it called? Taco burrito or whatever. But they got rid of that recently, which made me sad. So before that, I
Enchilada?
was doing enchiladas were my old love, but they got rid of
I
those
wish
too.
those
Those
were
bastards.
still there. Those
So
were my favorite.
something along the lines of that is my normal order. Tonight I did the chalupa box, with
Oh wow.
the free Dorito Loco taco, an iced coffee to have
Wow.
tomorrow, and
They have
then
iced coffee?
yeah, they have iced coffee that's bomb. They actually, I don't know what they
Really?
do, but
What?
Is it Dorito flavored?
yes,
No, aren't they like sponsored by Mountain Dew? So it's all Mountain Dew soft drinks?
it
So is
could
it
be a Mountain Dew coffee.
Dew coffee?
Do the do.
It's not a Mountain Dew.
I don't know,
I mean,
man.
it could be.
But they ask you when you're going through the drive-thru how many creamers and sugars you want. For anyone that wants to know, mine is 3 creamers, 4 sugars. You know
Sorry.
what?
It's too
It's
sweet.
so
for
good.
me.
I know. Well, you like
Oh
yours
my God.
black, so
Yeah.
Do you want some coffee with that sugar? Jeez.
Yeah, seriously.
it's so good though. Anyhow,
my.
so I got
It's
that.
like almost it's the equivalent of McDonald's sweet tea.
I love McDonald's sweet tea.
Oh god.
Oh my
it's too
heart
sweet
talk,
for me.
talking about heart
Like
attack.
diabetes right there.
Diabetes.
McDonald's sweet tea might as well just be syrup.
Yeah,
it basically
pretty
is.
much.
I
Exactly.
will agree with that.
Oh my
It has gotten overwhelming for me at points, like when I'm not in the mood for super sweet. But it like if I don't want to have a dessert, but I want something sweet, I'll go for that. But yeah, and then what was the other thing I got? Oh, just a bean and cheese burrito with it. But I legit just ate the tacos and the chalupa and wanted to puke. Oh, and the it comes with the Senna twists, so I ate that too. But
Anything else, PJ? Oh my! You just said
I
the
have
whole
2
menu.
burritos in the fridge.
Oh.
I'm excited. Anyhow, go ahead, John.
Okay,
You asked me an
let's
intimate
see.
question. I had to give you an intimate answer. Okay.
Oh, well, I don't always have Taco Bell, but when I do, it's usually the Chalupa box too. I do have a complaint about the Chalupa box.
What?
I like the price, but I do not like the Cinnamon Twists. I think they're worthless.
They're
Useless.
so good.
It's just air.
It's just
Air
air
with
with
cinnamon.
sugar on it.
You.
They're
Yeah.
so
The
good.
Cinnamon Twists are kind of bad.
Yeah,
It's-
they should
it's
either give me
flavorless.
another taco so I can save it for later, or just cut the price. Give me like
Yeah.
$4 box or something.
I bet those
Um,
only cost like 10 cents.
Oh yeah,
to
cents.
make.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And if not Chalupa box, if I'm like not feeling as hungry, I would go for the Crunch Wrap Supreme.
Oh, I love the
Ooh,
Crunchwrap
a
Supreme.
Yeah.
scrumptious.
I get it without tomatoes though. I'm not a big tomato fan.
Oh my. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Garrick.
Derek.
My go-to order at Taco Bell is the combo, the chalupa supreme, beef supreme.
chalupa
Oh no,
box? Oh.
no, steak supreme. Yeah, chalupa. I guess it's a chalupa
They have 3
box.
types of meat, Garrick. Come on.
Yeah. So
listing
the
every single one of 'em.
Chalupa Supreme, Steak Supreme, that comes with 2 chalupas and a taco and a drink. And yeah,
That sounds
that's
like a
it.
chalupa box.
That does sound like a
I guess it's a
chalupa box.
chalupa box. I just ordered by the combo, so I guess
Does it add up to $5?
sure.
I
don't
think we
know.
all got the
Then it's
chalupa,
chalupa
box.
box.
Yeah, I think we're all
Well,
getting chalupa boxes.
I don't get chalupa
Chalupa
boxes.
chalupas are
Well, the
really
steak.
good.
Well, the steak costs
Yeah.
more, so I
Oh
guess.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's the
I
custom
order-
portion of it.
I
Yeah.
order the steak supreme because that's
Ooh,
the
fancy.
best. It's even better than the beef.
So wait,
Uh,
you didn't mention your drink though, John. And what's yours, Garrick?
Oh, I usually get
Oh,
like
no.
the non-sweet tea because I don't like sugar.
yeah. I
So-
usually get unsweetened tea if but sometimes I get like a Sprite or a root beer. I don't know, but mostly unsweetened tea.
Some Taco Bells have the soda water, the
Oh.
sparkling water, flavored sparkling
LaCroix?
water, which I get.
La-
Yeah, kind of like the
LaCroix?
LaCroix ripoff, like the Taco Bell cheap version,
Yes.
which I sometimes get too.
Oh wow. Yeah, chalupas are the best.
Yeah, I was
Chalupa's
surprised. I haven't
delicious.
had one in a while, and I really enjoyed it.
It's just the chalupa wrap.
It's thicker.
Actually,
Good. It's fluffy and yummy.
well,
And
what's
greasy.
your order of eating your chalupa box?
I do taco first.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
tacos
do
and chalupa box.
chalupa first, then taco,
my
then
God.
chalupa.
That's
Just
scandalous. I
break
say
it
the
up a bit.
oh wow, I save the chalupa for last.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like
Oh
dessert.
wait, but the combo that I get has 2 chalupas,
Oh.
so I don't get the same order as you guys.
You don't. You get
They're
the,
Yeah,
double
That's
chalupa.
why I say I get 2 chalupas
Double chup.
and a taco.
put the taco
The
in the
Plot
chalupa.
thickens. Oh,
like a
tempting.
chalupa sandwich.
Yeah.
Yes. I should
Wow.
The
invent that.
crunchy chalupa.
Taco Bell, if you hear us,
That's
put a taco in a
probably already a
chalupa,
menu item.
and you're gonna make a
Yeah.
ton of money because that
Oh, yeah.
crunch is
Taco
to die
Bell
for.
is the
Wait,
king.
isn't that a cheesy gordita crunch?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Probably.
Taco Bell is the king of using the same materials over and over again to create something brand new
That's-
that's basically nothing new.
It's
And then
pretty
with
much the whole menu.
Doritos,
Yeah.
like with Doritos, they got it made. Like who else uses chips in their meals?
Their
Like,
Doritos Logos tacos
Oh my
are
goodness.
bananas.
Pretty good.
Well, they're not really. So that's the thing
just
that I
powder,
always thought
right?
about. Do they
Yeah.
get custom made
Shells.
like Dorito shells,
I think
or
so.
are
No.
they?
Are you
Because
the
there's
same-
there's no way that they're taking regular taco shells and
Uh-uh.
dusting them with the
That's
Dorito
That's
stuff.
what they're doing.
No,
I
they're not.
think.
Are you
There's
sure?
no
there's
way.
no way.
It's red on the
'Cause, like,
inside
the-
too.
It's
yeah,
Wow.
the Dorito
yeah, no.
is on. The Dorito is on the molecular level.
Yeah, it's
Like-
infused
But
in the corn.
A Dorito is just a corn chip, like basted
Well,
in that powder. That
Yeah, they
Dorito
mold.
powder.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
I've seen how it's made.
Oh wow, on
I know.
Discovery Channel.
I'm on Discovery
Okay.
Channel.
Okay, but
I don't know.
I'm gonna say that Taco Bell is
Also-
not dusting those themselves.
Oh, hell
like
no.
they're
No,
not
no, it's from
getting
factory. Yeah, it's from
taco
factory.
shells and Dorito powder.
Yeah, no,
They're getting pre-dusted shells.
Yeah.
for sure.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, indeed.
No, so they
Yeah.
are custom
It's
shells
pre-dusted.
for Taco Bell.
Yeah,
From
but
the
it's just
Doritos
their
factory.
normal shell dusted in Dorito powder.
Maybe. Wait, whoa.
Oh,
Conspiracy theory.
check out. Wait, yeah.
Maybe Doritos makes their taco shells.
I mean, sure.
That's yeah, I would assume so.
No. The regular taco shells.
Oh
No,
well,
nah.
yeah. I mean, that's probably not
I mean,
out of
it's
the
just
realm of
corn-
possibility either.
Corn chip with-
That
Yeah.
made
Well,
my eyes
they just
dilate.
probably get Doritos. Just probably gives them the powder, and then they just make it at their taco factory.
Possibly.
Yeah.
China.
Nah.
I think so.
I think Dorito is making these taco shells at their factory and then shipping them to Taco Bell.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
then they
can
can
see that
charge them
too.
a premium for it.
Oh,
Are they?
Plus, they already have all the rigging and stuff set up to dust the shells and stuff with the powder
True.
and stuff. Whereas
Yeah.
Taco Bell would have to like build all
Mm.
that infrastructure
Yeah.
just
Oh,
for one
true.
product. That doesn't make a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Anyone that works at
But-
Taco Bell, please give us this
Yeah.
answer.
Let us know.
Yeah,
Email
if
us.
you're at Taco
uh,
Bell, let us know.
But,
Joey.
oh,
sorry. go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. Definitely watch Bon Appetit's Gourmet Makes. Claire does a Dorito episode, and
Ah.
that shows you everything on how a Dorito's made.
I watched their
for it.
carbonara episode a few days ago. It was so
No,
good.
this is Claire's, not the random ones.
I
Watch
watched
Claire.
alright.
last night a video
She is
about
she is a goddess.
a gentleman that
she the
made
best?
Yes.
like completely from scratch adult peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't know if you guys
Wow.
saw that one.
Wait, adult?
I
What-
refused to click on that because it looked like.
What makes
First
it
of all, I
adult?
think it came up in my feed as an ad,
Wait,
but it
adult.
looked like the type of thing that YouTube would feed to me as a sponsored video, so I
wow.
refused to click
Wait,
on it out of
what is it?
Hold on,
Boozy
I'm
or-
looking up. It's the channel's called Pro Home Cooks. It's peanut butter and jelly sandwich for grown-ups, and he actually makes everything. Like, he does reinventions of different sandwiches and foods, but like
hungry.
he makes everything from scratch. So he made the jelly from scratch. He made the peanut butter from
okay.
scratch. He made the bread from scratch.
That's dumb and a waste of time and effort.
It is, but for the means of watching it, it was entertaining.
I mean, I like cooking from scratch, so it's fun to get the whole process of.
Well, seeing the
cooking.
peanut butter that creamy when he first made it, and it's like he just puts
Right.
it in the blender or in the food processor for like 10 minutes straight, and it just becomes a clump, and then all of a sudden it just into paste because the oils
Yeah.
come out, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, and then it's like super creamy. I'm like, fuck, I want to try that peanut butter.
Doesn't
Peanut
Winco
butter.
have
Like
peanut-
real talk, it's probably just as good as your like Skippy Natural.
No,
but I
Skippy is
wouldn't.
disgusting. Any of that shit is
Really,
fucking
Skippy
disgusting.
Natural. Claire
what's-
from
sorry,
Bon
what-
Appetit's favorite peanut butter.
Oh, Skippy Natural. Okay,
Oh,
I'm just thinking
damn. Joey
the
shut
normal
it down.
brand, like Jiffy peanut butter, and Skippy. The one with the added sugar shit is disgusting. Like it needs to be natural. I haven't
think
had
it's
Skippy
Jiffy.
Natural. Jiffy.
Yeah, because
But
I
I've
get
had it- I've
Skippy
had-
and it doesn't have a shit ton of sugar in it, or it doesn't feel like
Okay.
it has a bunch of sugar.
Yeah, if there's any more ingredients other than salt and nuts, then it's disgusting. I can't-
Okay, anyway, can I get
cannot.
on my Taco
Yeah,
Bell
I
order?
would
Oh yeah,
like
go
to
for
know
it, go
your
for it, go for it.
So
Oh, no.
I will typically get for a long time it was just Doritos tacos. Like I would just get like 4 Doritos tacos. I have more recently started to work a shredded chicken taco into that
What?
a little bit. Yeah, or not a shredded chicken taco. I'm sorry, a shredded chicken burrito. It's just a burrito with like shredded chicken and rice and some kind of like, I think it's like a ranch sauce or something like that on the inside. Pretty good,
The Santa
but
Fe sauce
it might be the Santa Fe sauce. Yeah.
stuff is gross.
So that's the thing. It's inconsistent, right? It's like sometimes I'll get it and it's perfect, like good amount of chicken, good amount of rice, like it's all just well balanced. Sometimes I'll get them where it's like way too much sauce or way too much rice. So I've been like not getting those as often because like I'm all about the consistency of the product. And if I'm getting something like I've the last like 3 times I've gotten one of these burritos, it's been bad. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna get these burritos anymore.
What burrito was it again? Sorry, I had to walk out of the room for 2 seconds.
It's the shredded chicken burrito.
Oh, Sarah loves those, but she gets the regular chicken instead of the shredded chicken.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Full chicken?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if like what the
Or
difference
chunks.
is really there, but
It's made differently. They put different spices on the 2 of them. I'm pretty sure.
oh, okay,
Weird.
that probably
Put
makes
different
sense.
spices and Taco Bell stuff. What the?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, right,
the
crazy.
what?
the shredded chicken it's like infused with the like sauce that they cook it in. I feel like the regular chicken they just like put some powder on it and throw it on the grill.
Have you seen how
Anyway.
they make the tacos? No,
Like
no one?
taco, like a regular Taco Bell taco.
Just like just like a
They
I
squirt
don't know,
beef
like a
in there and then
yeah.
throw lettuce.
It's everything. Have you guys know what caulk guns, right? Like the caulking guns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's literally that, and they have a tube of meat or sour cream or beans, and they just kind of caulk it one by one, like that.
Sounds
And
efficient.
that's how they. Yeah, it's amazing. In high school, I think we got like what was it, like 50 tacos.
I'm gonna run
And
something
that's-
by you guys.
yeah.
What if Taco Bell put their beef on a different, or like the meat part of the taco on a different layer? Because you know what I'm talking about, where like you get a taco and then it like breaks in half and all the stuff falls out the bottom
Right.
Oh, that shit
because like the
irritates me.
meat is too juicy, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
I was contemplating the other day, what other order could they build the taco in that would prevent this like travesty from occurring.
I feel like the chalupa already accomplishes that.
But the chalupa gets around it by just having way more, like,
It's more like
shell,
Covering.
effectively.
Shell, yeah.
than anything else.
Yeah.
It's like a soft.
But
yeah.
I don't want. But that's the thing is, I don't want a pita
He
shell
wants-
all the time.
Yeah, he wants a full
Like I want
crunch.
that thin, crispy, regular taco shell.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So I thought, I
I don't
wonder
know.
if like maybe they do lettuce first. And
Yeah,
then
that's
you
what I was
see
thinking.
the meat on a bed of lettuce. Then I'm like, I don't know. Then you start to heat the lettuce up, and the lettuce gets kind of wilty and loses its crispness.
What about like
Right.
melted cheese? Like
Right.
Not
So do you put it on
nacho
the cheese?
Right.
I don't
Because
know.
that's like a matrix, like a
Maybe
binding.
put it on the regular cheese. Maybe you just put a layer of regular cheese instead of
Uh-huh.
putting the cheese on the top where it can fall off
Yeah.
the lettuce.
Yeah.
You
And it
put the
melts a
cheese
little
in the
bit.
bottom so it protects the shell
Mhm.
from the juices of the meat.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
can see
might work. It's so hit or miss because I feel like sometimes it does a really good job. Like I've had a day where I ordered like 6 tacos with Sarah. All of them were immaculate. But like tonight, for instance, I got home and I think the one that was in the box, like the Doritos Locos one was fine. But the one that I got home in the box, like the half of it just snapped in on itself. And I was like, oh.
And
guess
it's like
this is a
this
thing.
is now like structurally unsound. I can't eat this like it's supposed to be eaten. Right?
You kind of like
Mhm.
juggle it sideways and turn it and then like shove the shell into itself.
It's like
Oh,
when
yeah.
you get a pizza that has way too much stuff on it, so you can't like support it and hold it up and eat it with your hand, so you have to eat it with a fork. It's like that's not how this is supposed to be eaten.
Right. I don't know.
I've somehow ruined the pizza. The pizza is now ruined because we put too much stuff on it.
The whole, I don't know. They need to fix that, but I don't know how they'd fix that. Change
It's
a
important.
like 50+ year old recipe, just like that.
Also, you guys notice Taco Bell has like the most influx menu of any of the like fast food chains.
What do you mean? Like it stays the most consistent? Or
Like it's
changes the most?
constantly changing.
But
Like they're
it's
constantly
still-
dropping stuff and adding new stuff.
But it's always
Huh.
still the
I
same
noticed.
exact thing.
Well, yeah, it's like effectively the same thing, kind of, because everything at Taco Bell has the same ingredients and stuff like that.
But the
But-
names constantly are changing, and then they're always
But the
changing.
names are constantly changing, and like the form factor is a lot of the time slightly changing
Yeah, those
in
two
some way or another.
$1 burrito things that they just got rid of that we were super bummed about. I think it was the loaded taco burrito and then the
Yeah.
Chipotle chicken burrito.
They just recently got a bunch of
They're gone.
Got rid of a bunch of stuff.
well, no,
They
but
got
those
rid
were
of
brand
those.
new.
They got well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'll bring things out and then take them away like months later because they just didn't do good enough or whatever. They recently, and by recently I mean like a few months ago, got rid of my favorite thing on the menu,
Nacho fries.
which was their
Oh.
apple empanadas.
Oh yeah.
They don't have apple
Oh.
empanadas anymore,
I
Oh,
and it's
completely
never-
forgot about
devastating. They were
Never had
so
that.
good.
They
They're so
were.
much better than like apple pie from
Oh,
McDonald's or something
Mappers.
like that. Like, ooh,
that. The thing.
the apple empanadas.
What,
Huh.
And now all you can get is those dumb Cinnabon balls that are kind of gross.
I haven't had
And
those.
the they're all right, but like you eat.
Yeah, but the apple empanadas have
You
been
can
around
really
for
eat, like, 2 of 'em.
years.
That's what I'm saying. The apple
So
empanadas
why
have been
all of a
around
sudden?
for decades.
Whereas the
Really?
And they're
Cinnaballs
gone
have
now.
only been around for what, less than 5 years, and then on top of that, it's like you're gonna get rid of the apple empanadas, but keep the Cinnatwist, which I feel like only
Which are garbage.
anyone under the age of
Yeah,
5
Cinnatwists
can
are
moderately
garbage.
enjoy, barring the fact that I enjoyed them tonight. But I never order them. I only got them because they came with the order. I would not pay, what are they, $2-3
The-
for that?
The last times that I've had the like Cinestick things or whatever they are, the Cinetwists,
Twists,
it was because I went to go get an apple empanada and they didn't have any
Oh,
before
so
they
that's-
like
that's
dropped it from the
depressing.
menu.
So you just kind of
Yeah.
had to be
It
like,
was-
fine, I'll do the Cinnatwist.
Yeah, like the writing on the wall was there because like months leading up to them dropping it from the menu,
just
every
never
time
there.
I would go to get one, they just never had them. So I assumed at the time that they were just like selling out of all of them, and they probably were selling out of all of them, but it was probably because they were shipping super limited quantities to all the stores.
Right.
So
Joey.
it's very sad. I miss the apple empanadas.
Speaking of
I've never had
pies, just really quick, they really need to take the taro pie that they have in Asian countries and in Hawaii from McDonald's
yeah.
and bring it over here. I need
That's not
taro
gonna happen.
pies. No, I need them.
Yeah,
I had one
I do
over
too, but
in Hawaii, and I am addicted.
yeah, I know.
They're
But
so good.
it's not gonna happen.
They're so good. They need to. Like, if they ever do the what are they called? The international favorites again. Actually do international favorites like the taro pie.
Oh yeah.
Not just a fucking bacon burger that's refurbished in a different, like, slightly different form factor. But to be fair, that chicken sandwich was godly. At least the first couple weeks they had it out, until the employees started just being like, fuck it, it's close enough to just throwing this on there. But the first weeks they had it, like, that sauce is something different. That was the only thing I gotta say. That, and then the waffle cone, which they end up keeping, right? The McFlurry.
I don't know.
Or at least they
Yeah, I
kept it
don't
a
know
little
about
bit
that.
longer. I haven't had it in forever, so I don't know if they ended up keeping it or not. I don't really get McFlurries often, but when they had that, I was getting it. Like, I got it at least a couple times. Anyhow, what you're here for? Video
Yeah, let's
games.
move
All
off.
food. What? No, they're here for food
Yeah.
stuff.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Thanks for
We'll
the
be
Taco
talking
Bell
about
cast.
McDonald's next week.
Yes, in-depth look at McDonald's and what we ordered from there. No, so first thing, PS5, and this one's a weird one. So I guess PS5 is going to get a robot companion that can play games with you. But the
Oh.
factor in which that they'll give you that, so this is a copyright that they've already, like,
You
put
patent?
into the U.S. Patent and Trademarks Office.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's speculation as to what's going to be happening with it, whether it's going to be a virtual assistant or they're going to give you something that's going to sit next to you, which that one sounds ludicrous to me. And then the last one would be
Rapper?
putting you into virtual space where you're wearing a headset and the virtual companion's next to you, which that sounds the most viable to me personally.
Right. I mean, looking at these patent images, I'm going to take it literally, and it looks like it's going to be a cloud buddy. Like a physical cloud buddy sitting on the couch with you playing the PlayStation.
It looks like a poop,
Oh.
actually.
Okay, or poop buddy, yeah.
Or a prune, like a really just shriveled up prune.
Yeah.
No joke. Like, the images we're looking at, I don't know where they're from.
That's generic, like, patent images. Like, that's how they look like for...
Yeah,
Because-
they're
really?
from the U.S. Patent Office.
It's
Yeah.
Because
always
if
a
they-
poop.
I mean, no, depending on the
That's a
product.
cloud.
Well, because
It's
if they get too specific,
That's a poop.
other
Yeah.
people can file
Yes.
a different patent and say, "Oh well, my patent is different from this patent because I'm doing this
Oh.
part differently." So
Yeah.
if you overgeneralize it, you can cover yourself
Mhm.
when you need to sue someone.
That
Yeah, I
makes
like looking
sense.
at camera patents and stuff, so it's like they show just enough.
They always show poop.
And this is and poops
I
everywhere.
want a poop companion.
Oh,
Exactly.
I feel like this is supposed to be more of an embodiment of, like, the imagination of potentially being anything. So, like, it's a cloud
Okay.
of potential.
Right, like an idea.
You know what I mean?
It's an
Oh,
idea
no.
bubble.
it's a thought cloud.
I just thought about
Yeah.
something.
Thought
Right.
cloud.
And
Think of all the
shoes.
weebs and their waifus that are going to be going on in this situation.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's
Hey,
definitely.
but we
gonna
don't
be a
geek
thing.
Holy
stream, so
crap.
it's okay.
But I mean, that already exists. Just like go just
VR
look at the
chat and
VR
stuff.
section on
Mhm.
Steam.
Ooh, a woo.
Ooh. Tell
Ooh.
me more. I haven't heard of this.
I just feel like
I
this
don't
is
know.
going to be, like, more personal, though.
I don't
wonder
know.
if
I'm
it's
gonna be
like
honest. This
Cortana.
looks to me super gimmicky
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
super dumb. Like a
I need
waste
more
of
info.
resources and something that if it ever comes out, nobody's going to pay attention to or use it. Or if they force it upon people, everybody's going to hate this thing and it's going to become a meme
Like the
about
Kinect.
how much everybody hates this dumb cloud buddy.
Well, it could turn into that hot dog thing on Snapchat. That dancing hot dog.
But the thing is
Oh.
that dancing hot dog's not intrusive to your gameplay.
So it's gonna be more like Clippy.
Yeah,
from,
I was about to say,
Ah.
that's exactly what it's going to be like.
Yeah,
like,
It's like,
Clippy.
hi, looks like you're playing PlayStation. Want me to help?
No,
Damn it, Clippy
Cloud,
Pop up,
go away,
pop up
Cloudy.
every 10 minutes.
Looks like you're bidding on Final Fantasy. I can put up a strategy guide.
Wow, that was a sick play. Do you want me to record
Yeah.
that for you? No, Cloudy, go away.
Go away, Cloudy. Screw you.
build
Good
a
times. I
heaven.
miss Clippy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually do too. When they said they were retiring him, I was just like, but I'm gonna miss
It
pressing
was
the X button every time.
it was a
Yeah.
love-hate relationship.
It
It
was.
was.
It
It
was
made me
part of
feel
my
less
childhood.
alone.
Yeah. Maybe that's
Now,
maybe we are
so
right here.
the thing that I find more interesting from this patent is
Go
that
on.
it also details some form of like feeling detection.
Oh
Oh.
Like
yeah.
apparently the like a combined usage of the camera, motion, and biological sensor data and audio inputs will be used to detect how the person using the console is feeling. And in the example given, they use and can instruct the robot how to react.
Oh
But
wow.
imagine if instead of like using this dumb robot, they take that technology and impart it onto games themselves,
So the
right?
characters
So
Right,
like
yeah,
react
that'd
to
be cool.
your
Oh.
actions.
so the characters react to your actions or your
Oh.
feelings, or like if you're playing
That's cool.
a horror
So-
game, for instance, they can like really start to ratchet up the tension
Oh.
as your like biological
that'd
sensor
be cool.
data is telling them you're getting scared.
Imagine a Mass Effect with that technology.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would be
Uh,
crazy.
Wait, I forgot. The new PS controller. Does it have like some sort of like heartbeat sensor or
Haptic?
I
haptic?
don't.
No.
It has
d-
haptic
Okay.
feedback.
Well, that's not. Yeah,
and-
that doesn't
but
sense.
that's not. Yeah, that's not necessarily like any
Oh.
sensors like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it like where exactly is this biological sensor data coming
Right.
from?
Yeah.
Right. Maybe if it's not a physical thing,
It would be-
potentially it's like the like PlayStation camera.
Okay,
Maybe
so, like,
the
thermal
camera has
imaging or
like
something.
thermal
Yeah, I was
imaging.
gonna say thermal.
Yeah.
Exactly what I
imaging
was
or,
thinking.
Like eye
You're warming up.
movements, because that tells a lot as well.
Actually, I tried out the hardware that tracks your eyes. Like you've seen those you can like see where you're looking on the screen. It's
Yeah,
actually
track
really,
IR.
Like
Yeah,
Zaza
yeah.
did
It's
with
really interesting.
the
Yep,
computer.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that stuff is
It's
crazy.
really cool. It's crazy how well like it pinpoints what you're looking at.
Oh
Except for
wow.
when you're drawing with it. Hats
So
off
yeah,
to
I guess
Apple.
the Cloud Buddy looked kind of dumb, but
poop.
the patent itself
Yeah, there's
looks
some
like it
interesting
could take
stuff.
the form of
I mean, just
actually
like
really neat technology in the.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of companies do is they come up with ideas, they patent it, even though they may or may not use
Yeah.
it, just in case.
And like, who knows? Maybe this little robot buddy thing is just thrown in there as a way to throw off competition into
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
that this is what they're actually doing.
Well,
when in
Xbox
reality, they
makes
have no
their own.
intention of.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
if I feel,
Cloud
next
Buddy.
thing we know, we
They
have
I
fall
would
Xbox
like a
into the
robot
trap.
to tell me that I feel constipated. Like
Yeah.
if I'm constipated and it tells me to hydrate or something, or
You haven't pooped in
Hey,
20
take
hours after playing this game.
Yeah.
You should
Holy
poop.
shit, you're
I
gonna
don't know.
die!
or
Like
taking
people have a
laxative.
real adverse effect to that type of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I think about how Nintendo games will stop the game and bring a screen up that's like, hey, you've been playing for a real long time straight. Maybe you should think about like, I don't know, turning off the console and taking a break. And
You
it's like,
fat
no,
shit.
screw you,
But-
Nintendo.
I'm cutting you
going
off
to-
right
I'm
here,
going to turn this feature
buddy.
off.
You need to
So
stop.
you never tell me to turn your console off again.
I consumed your
adorable-
shit. That's enough.
Doesn't
I'm
adorable
pulling the
Cloud
plug on
Buddy
myself.
tell you that though?
Don't bug me.
Doesn't
Uh,
it tell you that?
Probably. They'll probably look at
that-
you and like,
Yeah, doesn't adorable Cloud Buddy do that in a Nintendo?
It might be
Oh.
this patent might be
Slowly
interesting
shake
for
his head.
working out though.
I like the idea of it turning into like evolving in game, like where the AI goes into the game. Like I said, Mass Effect. It's just like, hey, can you feel your arousal? And it's like talking to
What?
you, and it's like
oh.
creepy.
Whisper in
know.
my ears.
It's like, hi,
Yeah.
how you doing? But I feel like that might evolve, like maybe not
Yeah.
in that direction, but
But I think a
like,
simpler
oh,
way
I
to
feel
go.
your fear, it will be okay, type of thing before you guys go into a dungeon
Yeah.
or something.
I don't know. In a weird way, for something like Mass Effect, I don't know about that because
Yeah.
like
It would be very extreme.
maybe. Well, I just mean like maybe Shepard or whoever you're playing as isn't stressed in this moment, right? Like you're role playing another character in a game like that. I don't want how I'm feeling outside of the game to affect how characters in the game are responding to my character.
Yeah, that's true. It would ruin the role.
So
playing.
maybe not
Okay.
Mass Effect, but a Mass Effect-esque game. where
you're playing yourself,
you're
maybe?
playing as yourself, not a character.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
I
like
think it would work
your
better in a
perspective.
first-person setting,
Right.
Yeah.
and I think it would work better for more like narrative,
Yeah,
like
horror.
for like walking simulator / horror, like
I wouldn't even
first-person
say
horror game
horror.
type
You
of-
could do it from like an action adventure, like, or not action adventure, but like action role playing game, even like Skyrim
Yeah, but
esque,
once
where you're doing decision making.
the system becomes,
Sentient.
this
tries
is
to
one of
kill
those things where it has to be very like finely tuned,
you. Right.
so that it's not blatantly apparent to the player, right?
Yeah.
Because then it breaks the fourth
Like I feel
wall
like the example,
consistently.
yeah, because I feel like the example you gave is blatantly apparent to the character, where it's like this dialogue option is now changed because this biometric scanner read my heartbeat,
Because I'm thinking
and
about
it's yeah.
and now
Whereas,
it's
like,
fucking up the game.
The reason that I use like horror games for an example is because they're not dialogue heavy, and they can very organically change those types of things without you noticing. Right?
That's true.
Like
I don't know,
the
it
the
freaked me
load
out,
between
though.
going through a door is going to be different
So
depending on
if
it.
your heart rate's really high, then it actually just like there's nothing behind the door just to fuck with you. But then if your
Yeah,
heart
maybe.
rate like you're
Yeah.
calm and then it puts something behind the door to freak you out. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm on board with that. That's kind of funny. But on the other hand of it all, like we were talking about with Clippy, I'm wondering, like I was thinking about that. What if companies do that kind of shit just so they can like do an update in the future and be a hero and be like, oh, we're removing this, and everyone's like, yay, you know?
PJ's Conspiracy Corner.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have a lot of those tonight, I feel like. So Taco Bell, now this.
Wait, you mean like they put
Clippy in
all
on
this
purpose,
work into...
knowing he was annoying,
Oh no, that's dumb.
and they took
Yeah.
him out.
It's like so much
They're
money
like,
That
to
doesn't
go
make
into
any
that.
sense.
It's like they
Because
purposely.
that's not going to get people to buy a console.
I bought for Clippy. I bought a computer for Clippy,
Just for Clippy.
just for Clippy.
No matter what computer you bought, you were going to get clip. Well, I guess that's not true. You can buy a dumb Apple computer.
Yeah, but if you got the Office edition, like
I guess
Office
you
for
still
it,
got
then you
Clippy.
would
Yeah,
still get Clippy. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
why I did
point
my
is,
Mac.
you can't get away from Clippy, right? Whereas here, if you want to get away from Cloudy, all you need to do is buy an Xbox.
Or
Can they
just
name it
not buy the
Cloudy? I want that name
peripheral.
now.
Because it's gonna
You
be
mean-
a peripheral
Well-
for the PlayStation.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No.
So that's gonna
Yeah.
eliminate a lot
Oh,
of
yeah, I
the
guess
people getting it anyhow. It's not like
Well,
Clippy where
it
you're
comes
stuck
it
with
comes off more as it's like a part of the like
Package.
VR unit,
right.
like more of like a software type of deal for the like PSVR whole deal.
So we'll see what happens with
rather
Cloudy.
than, because I could not. There's no way that they make this and try to sell it as a standalone unit. There's no way.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
There's
they've
no
done
way.
dumber stuff by far. Every game company's done dumber stuff by far. And I feel like this will sell because, like I said, weebs and their waifus that will automatically get that audience.
For Cloudy. Just Cloudy.
Or yes, Cloudy the waifu.
Nice.
But beyond that, another new thing that's
Yeah.
coming out that I thought was kind of interesting, I saw it on CNBC. Its website is that Facebook is gonna launch their own streaming app or content creator thingy. It's called Facebook Gaming. It's gonna actually line up with Twitch and YouTube to compete against them.
Oh wow.
I think it's dumb. I think it's like a dead in the water idea already because YouTube's been
That's fast.
established for over 10 years and Twitch has been established for over 10 years. And I feel like the only people who get from Facebook are going to be the people that watch TikTok and stuff like that. So gamers, not so much. I don't think personally.
I kind of disagree because a lot of people, first of all, Facebook has been adding so many features over the years and implementing them and seeing what works. Look at Instagram, and they started adding stories to Facebook too. So, but the second thing is that a lot of people share um, that they're playing a game and streaming through Facebook. So I think that might be viable for people.
I see this as being way more of a thing for like your everyday video game playing user more
Yeah,
than a like
exactly.
streaming platform for influencers.
Kind of like, oh, I was
Uh,
doing this earlier, and this funny thing happened.
yeah, it
Or
just
like
it
hang
just
out
seems
with me.
like because of the nature of it, right? Because it's not as big of a platform, and because it's tied to Facebook directly. I feel like most of the people you're going to get on that platform are people who are just like, hey, this is a neat little thing that I can do, stream my video game. Everybody watch me play Call of Duty mobile from my phone.
Yeah, look how interesting I am.
Yeah, rather
You
than
definitely
like,
would like to watch me play games,
well, I
right?
don't mean like that because that sounds
Hey,
like
Grandma,
you're
look what I'm
taking a shit
playing.
all over him, Garrick. I mean from the sense of like,
Oh,
like a more personal, like,
Mom,
hey, friends, look
Mean.
at this.
It's
Mom.
it's
Oh,
it's
okay, all
pretty
right.
much
Sorry.
everyone on Facebook already does that in real life. Like, I'm going to the restaurant. Here's a picture. It's like I'm playing a game. Here's a screen cap of it or something.
So,
Yeah,
right? Is that is
basically,
that is
It
that what
has
Facebook
its
it is?
audience.
Facebook is catering to people's narcissism,
Yeah,
and I
like
think it'll work.
always. It'll work. People love showing off what they're doing.
The
Well, I
ma-
mean,
yeah,
Facebook obviously, like the organization, the company is looking for this to be a competition to
Yeah.
Twitch and or YouTube.
And it's always good
Um,
to have that competition too.
and
yeah.
they're
Why
definitely
not?
gonna like you're gonna see them put money into acquiring streamers in the same way that we saw Mixer do it
Exactly.
with people
Right,
like
yeah.
Ninja.
Why
So
not throw your money in the ring? Yeah.
yeah,
What the heck?
like yeah, exactly. If you're Facebook and you have all that money to throw into it, then you might as well throw your money into it and try to get a piece of that pie while you're at it too.
And
Yeah, it's
hopefully
better to
they'll
try it than just turn into like Blockbuster or something, and then let
Right.
Netflix take over.
Yeah, 'cause
And
hopefully
more
that competition will make
more
it.
competition.
Yeah, like so
Mhm.
YouTube might better themselves, or
Yeah.
Twitch or Mixer or
Twitch,
whatever.
yeah.
True. The two things that so the first thing that Garrick said that might be correct, because reading more into the article, it says that it won't be including ads for the app, so like ways for people to make money off of it is going to be limited. That further promotes that it's going to be for friends and family to share with each other, less so than like professionals trying to make a livelihood out of it. The other thing that I saw here is that it's going to be only for iOS and Android, so it's going to be mobile
Wow.
only for right now. Which
Yeah.
that automatically, to me, that's stupid, because a lot of gaming isn't going to happen on mobile. I mean, there is a big mobile market, but I think that's more in Asia.
I think what's happening here though is more of a I think there's more of an overlap with mobile gamers and Facebook users than there are with console and PC gamers and Facebook users
Yeah, because most people check their Facebook on a mobile than
on
desktop
their
or-
phones. Yeah.
So it's just a differentiation in market.
Yeah, like I think the type of people who are on Facebook a lot are the type of people who are on their phones a lot.
Yeah, because
Right.
also
Where
think about. Okay, go ahead.
well, I was just going to say like YouTube is like it is a mobile platform, but it started as a like, you know,
Browser.
PC platform,
PC, yeah.
right?
True.
Where like when I think about Facebook, like yeah, Facebook started as a website, but I don't really think of Facebook as a website.
It's
I think
like
of
a
Facebook as an
medium.
app. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's right.
It's an
So-
all-knowing app.
I feel like there's more like you just have more overlap there. And I think that maybe it's smart to try to cater to that mobile market
Mhm. Yeah,
because
exactly.
you know, just because like we don't play a whole lot of mobile games doesn't mean that like Call of Duty Mobile and PUBG Mobile and all those gotcha games and stuff aren't pulling in ridiculous
Oh, they're probably huge.
player counts
Huge.
and amounts of
Yeah,
money.
huge.
Also, think
So,
about this.
There's definitely a market for people who want to watch people play these mobile games, and they're not seeing as much of that. They're both not seeing as much of it on Twitch, and a lot of them probably don't even know to go to Twitch as a resource to watch gameplay of their favorite mobile game or whatever.
I can see that. Yeah.
Also, think about this. There's plenty of opportunities for people to stream what they're playing or screen share what they're playing through desktop or something. But like you have Discord, if you just want to do it, just do it with your friends. But you don't have that option really on mobile. So I think
Yeah,
Facebook is hitting a nice niche that has been
like
empty for a while.
anybody can download OBS or XSplit and just stream what they're playing, right? Anybody who has a modern console like the Xbox One or the PS4 can just hit the share button or whatever and
Or,
start
or
streaming content out.
it's as
People
easy
on
as
the
that.
phone don't have that available to them. So yeah, Garrick's absolutely right. Where Facebook is targeting this market that hasn't been catered to before.
I feel like there's a barrier to entry for OBS and XSplit too, though.
For what?
Sure,
For
I think
mobile?
OBS a little bit more than XSplit.
I'd say XSplit more because there's a cost window too. Like,
Nah, XSplit's free.
no, but like if you want any of the like major functions of XSplit, you have to pay for it.
No, if you get all of the major functions of XSplit for free. The only thing that
What's
you
the
don't
paid
get with
version?
XSplit is you can't stream to multiple sources.
Oh,
So if you wanted to stream to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time, you have to pay for the paid version. There might be a few other stuff that you don't exactly get with the free version,
has that
but as
always
far as
been
I'm
the thing?
aware, yeah, I like I said, as far as I'm aware, I've used XSplit for like 4 years or something like that.
Oh,
So
I've always used OBS, so like that, I just went for it initially.
I actually didn't use OBS because I found OBS to be more complicated, and I heard from people that OBS was more temperamental because it was open source.
Yeah, I feel like it's hit or miss sometimes. I've just gotten so used to the interface, I enjoy it now, but I think John can vouch at the same time for what you're saying and know that it is temperamental. Like just changing one setting can blow up everything.
I mean, that's just Twitch is like you can't test anything.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just the nature of like recording equipment where like I always found the joke was always like you get everything set up, you test everything the night before, everything's perfect. And then you get in the next morning, first person in the studio, and everything's broken. And it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened overnight? Nobody's been in here.
And it's just like even like when we were recording this, we have to do a test every single damn time because like just a person being in a better mood than last recording or the prior day can change the settings by like a bunch just because they're being slightly louder. So I agree with that. Joey,
All right.
why don't you tell
Yeah,
me about
let's
this
move on.
disaster piece?
So, well, it's not necessarily. I
feel
don't
like
want to
it.
harp on like the look of the game too much
I do.
because it's not really the point. There was an announcement teaser for a game using the War of the Worlds license. So yeah, new War of the World game. Alien. It looks like it's going to be kind of like a survival based. I was from the trailer. I was getting like lightweight DayZ vibes or something like that from
Is
it.
Tom Cruise in there?
No, so that's
Aw.
that's something that I mentioned to PJ. Because War of the Worlds is a public domain property, it doesn't have to be tied to anything. So like this War of the
wow.
Worlds game doesn't have any tie to the movies or I think there's a TV show out right now.
TV
Yeah, it doesn't have any ties to that or anything like
Wait,
that.
when did the licensing for that expire? Because I thought it's 100 years where it becomes public domain. And H.G. Wells, how long is
It
It's
is
been a while.
70.
for? It's probably different for music and like.
I think it's
visual
70
and audio
plus.
media, though.
No, it's from the death of the creator plus 70 years.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay. And yeah,
I think that's how it goes.
released it. God, I gotta look that up now. Anyhow, continue. I'll look it up.
Anyway, yeah, that's beside the point. It's not really
1898.
the point.
Oh,
The
wow.
point actually
Okay.
that I want to get to, because realistically, like you can go watch the trailer. It's just kind of a CGI trailer. It actually
It's
doesn't
very
really look that
janky.
good.
Yeah, it doesn't show anything.
Yeah, the graphics kind of look janky. But what I actually
Reminds me
wanted
of
to
the
talk
old Tomb
about
Raiders.
was how do you guys feel about games being announced with no hard gameplay footage.
Makes no
I hate it.
sense.
Especially like a game like this from like a studio that doesn't have acclaim.
Well, it depends on how far
With-
early their development is. When's this coming out?
I actually don't know when this is coming
It
out.
seems like they're a couple
Um,
years away at this point.
Yeah,
Because if they plan on releasing a game with this janky trailer, I wouldn't even
Yeah,
think
it-
about
but
this.
like who knows with
It
early
reminds
access
me
being
of,
what it is, and Steam being what it is.
It reminds me of what is it? What did I say earlier?
I don't know. I can't read your mind.
No, I was talking to Joey about it.
I think you said Resident
Outplay.
Evil from 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10
Oh.
10 year
Like
ago.
Resident Evil.
I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
the graphics aren't that good.
with the
But-
trailer, it seems like films do that. Like Tenet has done that a few times. The movie that's about to come, was going to come out eventually. They teased it with very short trailers. It's just
Yeah, but I feel
teaser,
like that's
teaser.
different
Films, yeah.
because it's a film. The only thing that
using
you can
assets.
get out of it is watching it passively.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
games
And
do have
films use-
cinematic features
yeah.
too.
But these are
Yeah,
made
but-
for specifically like to hype people. That's what I don't like about these announcement trailers. It's like I get you want to create hype for your game, but it's like it's not what your finished product is going to be, and that's what I don't like.
Well, that's
And-
always been part of the deal. There's a difference between marketing and the actual game.
Right.
That's
But
how
I
it
just
is.
don't like it. Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah.
don't
Well,
like
yeah. So there's two elements to this, right? There's the element of like, are you announcing it with a CG trailer that is trying to like evoke gameplay that is not real?
Mhm.
Or
But so
because
many
like
people do that.
there's you also get stuff like Elder Scrolls and Metroid Prime 4, for instance, right? Where the announcement is literally the logo on the screen and then being like, it's being made, right?
Yeah.
That's almost more acceptable because it's like, here is the name of the game that we're working on. We literally have nothing to show you.
Yeah.
Because there's like it's not in any state to be shown, right? Whereas a situation like this feels like there's gameplay to show
But
and they're not.
Yeah.
Is it broken?
So at the end of this trailer, it said 2020, so it's supposed to come out this year.
Oh God.
So now I am in agreement with you guys where there should be gameplay by this point.
Right. And
Mhm.
we should play it on the Twitch stream. That way we can see how much of a train wreck it is.
Who has this developer done anything else? Steel Arts.
I'm actually
I
intrigued.
don't think so. I think I was reading their only like listed credit is for another game called Dark Skies, which people are speculating turned into this game.
Okay.
Oh, this is scary
So
stuff.
it kind of looks like they were working on an alien invasion like survival game, and then at some point they were
We
like,
need a brand that's
"Hey, we can
familiar.
use the War of the
Yeah.
Worlds, like
IP,
branding
or
and stuff."
branding, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all.
good luck
so
to
they just took it.
them.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
but
We'll see.
so
I mean, what if it's the best game of the century?
oh, I know,
Yeah.
right? Crazy.
That
So
would be
j-
crazy.
Less than a
basically, what we're
1%
getting at, general consensus here: don't announce your game if you don't have gameplay to show.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
If
unless if you can afford to do that. Like if
If
you're
it's
a big
a
company.
if it's a totally new IP,
Yeah.
like
It's
coming out of
smarter not to,
nowhere,
Smarter not to do it.
I think
Yeah.
it's important to show. Like another example of this is what is the name of that game?
Well, it's not
They
even-
announced it.
oh, that one.
They announced it a couple months ago for the PS5. I'm gonna have to look it up because I can't think of the name of it right now. But all they showed was like a CG trailer, and it's like,
Oh.
Bruh.
what is this?
Are you gonna
Yeah.
buy it?
Like nothing about this trailer tells us anything about the PS5, the type of games it's going to be able to play,
Is
or
this
what
game,
this game is.
is this
you know what I
game
mean?
supposed to be a new IP?
Yeah, it's a new IP. It's being
Okay.
published by Gearbox.
So
I think so. I think you can get away with the teaser trailer esque kind of thing with no gameplay if it's like an established franchise and you're just trying to hype up the people that
Right.
soon
Yeah,
gonna get
yeah.
you
I was
this
just about to
awesome
say
game.
like combat that.
The name of that game, by the way, is Godfall.
Never heard of it.
I haven't
Godfather.
either. But I was gonna say like you don't even need it if it's a new IP. If like for instance, I say this because I love Mirror's Edge and I've been on a Mirror's Edge kick lately. But when Mirror's Edge was first shown, I think at E3, what was it, 15 years ago? Um, maybe not that long, maybe 12. The very first one, it was just a gameplay trailer, and it was just like the epic music at the beginning. It was, I'm pretty sure it was just her, like Faith, the main character, running a little bit, and then it went into like it just said Mirror's Edge, and it had her next to the edge of the
Oh
building,
wow.
and it
I
was
think
it caught me. I was like, holy shit, this game's
Oh
gonna
wow.
be amazing.
What I
Yeah.
would automatically gravitate to as the best example for a franchise using a teaser trailer is Nintendo's reveal of the new or of the latest Super Smash Bros. Like you didn't know what was happening. You at first you thought it was a new IP or something, and then all of a sudden, after going through some characters or something, the big old Super Smash Brothers logo pops out,
Well,
and
I don't
like
know if you.
that was
I don't
kind
know
of
if people.
cool.
Well,
I don't know if people thought it was a new
No,
IP because
'cause-
I know for me watching that trailer, the second I saw those Splatoon guys running around in a black void, I was like, "This is
Yeah.
a Smash announcement."
right.
But you are right. Like with a property like Smash,
Like,
you
know
don't
what-
need gameplay. You know what Smash is. You know what you're gonna get, and chances are Sakurai and team aren't going to butcher it somehow.
But that feeds to my idea. That's what I was gonna say after that is like DICE is established. They were established. Everyone knows them for Battlefield. Even back then when they first created Mirror's Edge, everyone knew them for Battlefield. So
But doesn't that then put a little bit of wariness in the idea of Mirror's Edge because it's not a like Battlefield simulation game?
no,
It's a
because I feel
story
like DICE did
driven.
other stuff prior to that that was different. Did they not?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Was Dice Burnout? I think they did Burnout. One of the Burnouts.
They've done a lot of
No,
different
they're
genres.
not. No.
Who did that? Whatever. Yeah.
Why don't we move on to the next topic while like I'll take a
No.
look into that.
Yeah. Anyway, point is, announcement trailers,
Show
show some gameplay. Otherwise,
IP.
like especially with these like early access like Steam games from
Oh, God.
like the looks of this, like really got to show some gameplay.
Yeah.
Moving on. Next topic. So some people data mined the Nintendo Switch's most recent firmware update, the 10.0.0 update, and they're finding some internal stuff that suggests a new Nintendo Switch hardware or some kind of new Switch
Oh.
hardware with some kind of secondary display function is going to be coming out.
So are they gonna
or
make
at least
Snap.
the
Like a
They're-
DS Switch.
yeah? That's what I was gonna say. Like make a bigger
What?
DS.
yeah. So I just wanted to see like, what do you guys think this could
They
possibly
can't
be?
get out of that
the-
clamshell mentality.
Well, I don't know because that's the thing is
Hey,
it
it's
going
portable,
to be?
okay?
Well, the question is it going to be a like double screen fold over type of thing, or is it going to be a like stream to a TV or like stream to a secondary
So you don't have
display
to
type
dock
of
it
thing?
anymore.
Yeah,
Just
like
have it on
the
TV.
the,
That'd be
the main
cool.
rumor
Yeah.
that's
That
going
makes more
around right
sense.
now refers to the Switch Lite, because if you guys are unaware, the Switch Lite has no TV functionality, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have, you can't just drop it into a dock and stream out to a TV like you can with the regular Switch.
So that would effectively make the cheaper version of the console better.
Well, but so that's the thing is, from the looks of it internally anyway, it looks like it's a different version of the console.
Wait,
So
wasn't there a pro quote unquote pro version, or has that come out yet, or was that just rumored of a Switch?
no, I
Pro?
believe that was rumored too,
Okay.
and Nintendo actually came out and denied that rumor outright.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. Is it? Will this be a new Switch Lite, like like let's just say using Nintendo naming conventions, the new Switch Lite, and it has like secondary screen support where you can output it to
Like a phone
a
or
TV screen if you want to play on a TV screen without docking it.
that'd be neat.
And at that point, do you sell it for more? Right? Like, because I want to say the Switch Lite is 200. And I think a regular Switch is in the 300 range.
I thought the Switch Lite was like 250, and then the regular
Switch Lite
Lite
might be
is-
250.
250, 400.
It's 200.
Oh,
Okay,
see,
Switch Lite
At
200.
Target.
that's super
Regular Switch
affordable.
300. Right?
That's good.
So maybe
Yeah.
you drop this somewhere right in the middle at like a 250 range.
So this is going. I thought this was just a firmware change.
Well, no. So the firmware came out, and then people like data mined in the firmware and found data that suggests, like, there's data in there to support a new Switch hardware platform.
So if that is the case, then that's kind of bull, because it's like they're gonna charge you $50 or whatever for you to get something that a Kindle Fire or your cell phone could do for automatically for $30. Like the Kindle Fires stream directly to TV. Like you can stream. Better example is the Google Chromecast. Like you can
Chromecast, yeah.
$30 and you can stream any device to it. Like why can't they just make it so it automatically can sync to a Chromecast?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
So
will
it
your
might be an
Chromecast
item.
connect to? Will a Chromecast connect to a PlayStation?
I have no idea. I haven't tried that.
Well,
So
so
basically,
that's
is
the
it a
thing. So
peripheral?
yeah, your Chromecast will connect to your computer or your phone, but that's because those are more open platforms.
Okay, so then let me rephrase it. So it's gonna be, it might be an item that goes to your TV that specifically connects to your Switch, like a Chromecast. So it's an extension.
Yeah, so cast to any external screen wirelessly.
So, but it would be specifically for the Switch. It would be Nintendo's thing. But Nintendo's using what, Bluetooth?
Well,
Or the
I don't
internet?
know,
That's
because from what
so many questions.
from what the like information, and again, this is just like rumors because this is
Right.
like data miners who are data mining the stuff and then tweeting about it. But it seems to suggest an entirely new hardware model of a Switch, right? Like it's not firmware for some other thing, some attachment peripheral thing. It's actually for a Switch hardware model. So I don't know.
I mean, if they release it the same price as the normal Switch, just without a docking thing, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get the smaller like profile of the Switch Lite that I know a
Yeah.
lot of people like better than the full size Switch, but you still have the capability of streaming it out to a TV.
Yeah. I mean, I
I
can
just-
get on board with the idea. I just think it's kind of like weird that it's so late. That they're
Oh,
doing
it's absolutely weird.
it. It's so
But
late in the
Nintendo
life
is known
cycle
for
of-
weird stuff.
Well, that, and then they're also known to juggle the lifetime of a product. Like the other two big companies are gonna release something, and they're just renewing the Switch lifespan.
Well,
That's
I mean,
fine.
that's kind of most of that has to do with the fact that Nintendo hasn't really been on the same cycle as the other two console
They're
developers.
usually about
Like,
a year.
ever
off.
since the Wii came out. Well, ever since the Wii came out, the priorities shifted, right? The priorities shifted going from the GameCube, PS2, Xbox generation into the 360, PS3, Wii.
Right. I don't know.
Was very much like we're going to go down our own path and make our own underpowered gimmicky stuff, and we're going to put it out on our own timetable because we don't need to compete with you guys, because they effectively like don't, right? Like a lot of people will buy a PlayStation or Xbox or a PC and a Switch because
I feel like the
it's
Switch
the only
isn't
place
the
you get your
optional
Nintendo
one.
stuff.
Yeah, it's not the optional one. If you're by any light a gamer, you more than likely will end up getting something from Nintendo, regardless of the other two. And I feel like
what I want
even
to see.
if you don't get the consoles, you're more of a PC gamer. The only way you can subscribe to
go.
the Nintendo games is by getting a console for Nintendo. You can play the Xbox and PlayStation games now mostly on computer. So eventually, but
But
Harold,
I just want the Switch to have a 1080 screen or just a better screen in general. That's my wish.
that would be cool. Heralding to the back to the last question really quick before we jump to the next topic. Dice. They did a bunch of pinball games when they first started. So
That's right,
mind you,
pinball
they
games.
opened up in '92. So they've been in the industry for a long time. They know their shit at this point. They did a lot of racing games. And they actually did a lot of platformers in their like early 2000s for like Game Boy Color, Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube. So they definitely did a lot of platformers, but like 2D, like low res platformers. So I will agree with you. Mirror's Edge was their first huge undertaking. That was a big project that wasn't Battlefield or Medal of Honor. But I think they had so many years of development practice with other game types that they eventually, like, I would have had faith in them. I did. Like, I knew Mirror's Edge was going to be a great game right when I saw that first trailer. And I'm watching a short documentary on YouTube about, like, how it came to be. And that was the first idea that leapt out at the CEO at the time that was like, boom, this is a great game. But how they were gonna implement it was like their struggle. But I don't know. I still love that game. I think that's what my favorite game of all time is Mirror's Edge. I will say that bold statement. I love that game. Moving on to the next topic. This one might be a little bit longer. We're gonna talk about
my favorite.
Right now?
What?
I don't know. Early access. So what are our thoughts on that? Are we okay with the way early access is now? Or how it was in the past better? Or should early access be completely obliterated altogether?
I like it.
I like
Jared
it a
likes it.
lot.
I think it's a love-hate relationship because there's some developers that are using it correctly, and there are some developers that are just using it just to get a quick buck early in the game and just aren't 100% in it to be successful and actually utilize the benefits of early access. So that's where I have issues with, but it's hit and miss, and there are people out there that have had bad experiences with early access, John, and
Yeah, I
it's
wanna know that
fully
story.
understandable, but I think it's a good thing.
John, why don't you tell us
But
your
go ahead,
early
John.
access story? That way we
So
can know your
I
stance better.
absolutely hate early access as it is today. When it first started, it made sense because it was small indie companies that need funds to fund these games.
Like Mojang, Minecraft.
Like Mojang, Minecraft, there's a bunch of other ones that were successfully crowdfunded or early, whatever. But these days, it's just everything it feels like an excuse to release an unfinished game just by slapping that boom early access game.
Wow.
Bam! I have the excuse to say, oh, that feature doesn't work because it's not done yet, even though you paid for a full price game, which you shouldn't charge full price for an early access game.
I agree with you 100%
I don't
on that.
understand how that came to be.
I don't. Yeah, and I think it's even dumber when a company is like when they charge double the price for an early access game.
Oh,
because
double?
under the guise
That's
of like
audacity to its
yeah,
fullest.
I've seen
a lot of
that a
companies do
ton of
that.
times where they'd be like, and the reasoning is always like, oh, we want to keep out the players who just want to play and gate this to people who want to really beta test the game.
It's like,
but in reality, you're just gouging the players who really, really want to play the game.
Or they call it
Yeah.
the VIP status, where you get like a shirt.
No.
It's just to have the privilege to play the game.
It's
first.
usually literally just to have the privilege of playing the game before other people play the game in an early like unfinished state. Usually, I know like Wasteland 2, I want to say did this where in early access the game went up on Steam for $60 and then released at $30.
Yeah, it's like screw
Did
So-
you
you.
get refunded
Screw
that?
you. No.
Or-
No,
That's so
because
fucked.
because you bought it
That's all you get is
and
you
it
just
was
get
already
the game.
predicated to you that you were buying the game at a premium because you were getting it early.
At least put them in
Uh,
the credits or something that they were supporters.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
something. Give them anything, a shred of
At
dignity.
at that point, they should have done like Indiegogo or something
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just
instead
messed
of actually
up.
crowdfund
doing
it.
something on Steam or something.
Holy
But
crap.
yeah, I think the real issue is that it sets a bad precedent, or it set a bad precedent for all the AAA companies,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
you get like Ubisoft, who thinks that they can just release garbage
It's
and
like, oh,
then
it's early
tell
access, you
everybody
can't
it's
complain.
well, they don't even say it's early access anymore. That's the worst part about it, is that the idea of early access has permeated to the point where now games just come out unfinished.
Mhm.
And that's just the way it is.
That's what I have
Right.
an issue with.
Like, you
Triple
don't-
A games have no right.
Yeah, it's like, and I use Ubisoft as an example because a lot of their games have been like this recently, right? Like Division 2,
See, even it started with Siege.
Siege. Yeah, well,
And
it goes
Wildlands.
back to Siege, but but particularly they've had some real misses as of late, right? Like those games came out at that time, kind of floundered, but eventually grabbed their own footing, right? Whereas like Division 2 and Breakpoint came out and were just like bad and broken and unfinished. And then the players are just expected to wait for the good updates to come out. And that's like not the way that it should be. You
I
know?
agree.
And it's hard because at the same time I go back to thinking about like, well, Modern Warfare 2 didn't work when it came out. You know what I mean? Like, you remember how broken like Commando was and the Javelin glitch, and like
There was a lot of
So-
broken stuff, but it was still a great game.
Well, that's patchable. That's like that
Right.
makes sense.
It's not
if
like
don't
you're
have-
falling through the floor or the graphics are so bad
Yeah.
that it hurts your face. Like,
But some of these early access games have like completely features missing that should be in the game. It's like
Right.
when you pay for the money, these features
Right.
should be in the game.
Like
even
missions
maybe
missing.
Yeah, missions, well, just like gameplay stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
why am I paying a full price or half price game when it's not there?
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
wait till it's done or
Yeah.
find another way to fund it.
Yeah, I'm not happy about
Yeah.
AAA games if they do that, but I think it's still viable for indie games because I've had a great experience with most of the games that I've invested in, but there are some duds where I did lose out on some money because these developers just gave up or weren't reliable enough. But for the most part, I feel like when I came in early and supported these developers, I feel like it was worth it to me.
A good portion of the time
Well-
it works out.
And well, the other thing about it too is that like when you think about it, right? Okay, so I'll use Daisy for an example, right? Daisy is
Oh,
out.
God.
Daisy is
it's-
effectively out. No, let me get to my
It's still,
point
oh,
before
I thought
y'all
it was
go
still
like,
in
"Oh,
early
Daisy."
access.
Okay.
Oh, Daisy. Yeah.
It's not. I thought it's still in early
No,
access.
Daisy is out.
It's out. It's out. Yeah, it's out.
Daisy's been out for about 2 years.
And how long has
Uh,
it been in development for?
No,
10
I want to
years?
hear Joey's
Okay.
point. Hold on.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
let
on.
me actually get some points out here. So I bought Daisy for like $30, like what, 8 years ago or something like that?
Jeez.
10
Oh my
years
God.
ago, right?
That's a huge
Yeah.
investment.
I put 200 hours into it,
That's
Yeah.
good.
I even put in like 30 or 40 hours.
Yep,
so-
Daisy.
Yeah.
right?
I had a lot.
So just because it was early access and everybody's like, it's bad, I played it for 200 hours.
Right.
And I don't regret my time playing it.
I do.
So
Wait, you
Well,
regret
some-
his time for doing it?
Oh no, mine. I'm
Oh,
seeking
wait, you
experience.
played Daisy?
Yes. Anyhow,
Oh,
wait. I want
Well-
But-
Some-
so here's
some-
the thing.
yeah,
If you
go for it.
played
Okay,
for
go
more
on.
than 10 hours and you regret your time, that's on you.
right.
Because you should have stopped.
I was
5
trying
hours,
to make
2
you
hours
happy,
in.
Joey.
it's
Oh.
about fact. Yeah, it's like if you can whittle down the amount of time you've actually played the game to down to like pennies an hour, Like, I think you got your investment. You got your money's worth, and yeah, you don't have any right to complain.
Let me see if I'm right or wrong on that. I can check my my Steam
Well,
numbers right now, but I want to
while
know the rest
PJ's
of Jared's
checking,
point. Okay,
hold
let's
that
look.
thought.
Well,
A great
like
example for me.
basically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, go ahead, Garrett.
A great example for me is Squad. So I've told these guys several times how many hours I put into that game.
Oh damn.
Granted, some of it is for helping populate the server so we can actually play the game, but I put in like at least 1,600 hours, 1,600 hours in an early access game called Squad, and it's on Steam. And um, it's I've had so much fun on it, and I don't regret it. And it's been in early access. They started releasing gameplay, or they released it in early access, I think, in 2015, and I do not regret all that time I put in.
What else is missing from that game?
It's pretty much complete by now.
Yeah,
They've
so
like over that time they've added what they've desired to add. So they started off with infantry only on these huge maps that were meant for vehicles, and then eventually they started adding personnel carriers, and then eventually they started adding tanks, and then eventually they started adding
so
helicopters
they
and all
pretty
that.
much had like a fully fleshed out beta
Oh,
practically when you got
yeah,
early access. It's like
it
all the
was janky.
gameplay. It was janky.
Yeah, that's the thing is
It was
Squad
janky,
was
but
janky and kind of busted when it
Uh-huh.
came out. Like
but
it's not to
I
be
knew
for
what I was getting into. Like the core. So to
that's
answer
the
your
key
question,
here.
John, the core of it, where I enjoyed the tactical gameplay that was offered with the people that you were playing with. So it really depended on the people you were playing with. If you're playing it correctly, I the best gameplay I've ever had was get jumping in when they had figured out just the people, just the infantry part, and just the APC part, the personal carrier part. Then after that, that was like a bonus to me.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
and that's hard to figure out when you're kind of jumping into an early access game.
yeah, that's why.
So it's
Like
like
honestly, I
it's
don't.
just very lucky,
It's
or you
not
just did your
lucky. It's
research.
exactly. It's research. Like I've watched that game for a while before I decided to put my investment into it, and I think that's all you have to do. Just check the reviews. If there's mixed reviews or people are saying, this is not good right now, I don't recommend it until they actually figure a few things out. Then yeah, listen to those
So it's the
people. Let them use their
responsibility of the
money
person.
first.
Yeah, it comes down to knowing what you're getting into,
Honestly, yeah,
right?
don't
It's
like
like when there's been plenty of times. So I'll use Fallout 76 for an example, right? I knew Fallout 76 wasn't going to be that great. I expected it to be a 4 or a 5. But I knew that I was probably going to like it because of what it was. But a bunch of people didn't know what they were getting into. They see Fallout and they think Fallout 4. And they jump in and they get a buggy kind of early access multiplayer game.
Was that early access?
It wasn't, but like.
No, but I felt like it.
But yeah, it felt like it.
was it a different
But
developer?
like even then,
No.
I expected it to feel kind of buggy in early access because it was like the first time this team had done anything, and it's kind of a new idea, and it's running on the Fallout engine, which is already janky and bad to begin with, right? So
Yeah.
I knew going in that the game was probably going to be janky and kind of bad.
Yeah.
So knowing
that's-
that, I was able to enjoy it still.
Yeah.
Whereas
See, I can't enjoy janky and buggy games. That's why
Yeah.
I would just avoid
I'm hit
all
or
early
miss on
access
them.
games. Like I can't even, guys. I can't even.
Yeah, like
no.
I know one of the things, a lot of the enemies will like stand still and T-pose in that game, and it drives other players crazy.
Oh, that would drive
and
me
I look at it
insane.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh baby, enemies that aren't moving, free loot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's perception about the
that'll
game.
piss
like
me off
what
right?
the
so
Like
much.
I'm
heck?
not,
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm not playing this
No.
Fallout multiplayer game to have this immersive Fallout
Oh.
storytelling
Oh,
experience.
that's what I. Yeah,
I'm
that's what I
playing
want.
it to level up a character and get
Yeah.
Fallout loot.
Yeah, I'm in it for
So-
the immersion. So if it's it's immersion breaking, it's like I can't
And
handle
a
it.
little bit, so that comes down to a little bit of it is on the player to look into these games more to figure out, because like with Fallout 76, if you did enough digging, you could tell that it wasn't going to be a like standard Bethesda affair, right? But then on top of it, at the same time, Bethesda was very much like, don't worry, if you like our other games, you'll like this one too.
It's like, no.
Which was disingenuous.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of both. The player needs to be diligent about researching things so they know what they're getting into. But also the people making the games and publishing the games and promoting the games need to be upfront about what the game is.
Yeah, like, oh, this is broken. We're sorry. Enjoy these other aspects of the game.
Or just straight up like, hey,
You'll run
things
into
are
issues.
probably not going to work that great at first.
And I feel like
But
a lot of companies
bear
do
with
that
us.
well. Like, they try to.
Yeah,
at least.
sure.
But then they're like you were saying, there are some that kind of hide it or try to hide it.
Or there are some that have just gotten complacent in it, where
Right.
like Ubisoft's an example of that, where I feel like Ubisoft now puts out their games early because they know that their audience has gotten used to getting their games in kind of an early access buggy state,
and
they can just be like, don't worry about it, we'll fix it later.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, if it works for the company and they're known for that, that's fine. I feel. But then you just, as a consumer, automatically know that's the way it's going to be. Like, so John will never buy Ubisoft early access game.
Early access. I mean, also, it's like when you're reviewing an early access game, you review it as an early access. Like, you review it with all the bugs. Like, I hate when I see reviews like, oh, it's still 10 out of 10, even though it has all this, there's all this, crap in it that should be fixed. But since it's early access, like, they get an excuse just because it's an early access game that
it shouldn't be
you can't critique it.
It shouldn't
It's
be an
like,
excuse.
If you release a game for money, it should completely, everything should be looked at.
See, if someone says it that way, I agree with you that it shouldn't be an excuse that it's early access. But if the game has issues and it's still a great game, I would still be able to give it a 10 out of 10, regardless of the issues.
I would say
a barring excuse.
I would say I'll come back to it when it's fully released. Like, these are what the experience. This is what the experience is right now. When it's fully released, I'll come back to it and maybe change the score. Yeah, that's how I would do it.
I mean,
so when are you going to come back to Minecraft?
Oh, it's already been released. Like,
but is it really though? That's the thing, though, is because like
still in early access.
We then go down this weird rabbit hole of like, is Minecraft really done? Because like it's constantly getting new features,
right?
Yeah, but
that are like
that's
vastly changing. But what's the difference?
I mean, I'll treat it as a well, I would like update the score
the way that you want it, that people anticipate it to. You get it at early access.
No, to
there
me,
are games that you would have bought on your Xbox original or your GameCube or your PS1 that you bought for full price that didn't provide that to you.
Yeah.
So
I would just like the updates more like expansions. So I would still update the review. It's like this expansion made the game shit, and it did. I don't know.
You mean the patch?
Or the patch? Well, yeah.
Depends.
Update,
some
whatever.
games are expansions.
Well,
but also
you can't really play the patches. You have to.
Also,
kind of do a
it's
loophole,
free. Those updates are free though. So
yeah.
Well, updates to an early access game are free.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still say that the latest. If it was the latest Minecraft update is shit. I will say it. It's like, I'm not gonna say, just because they released the game, in the past.
Well, it's just like
made it bad.
Because if we just drop the early access moniker off of something, right? You can then just say it released at a 4.0 out of 10, but updates later. Like, here's a good example, right? No Man's Sky.
Right.
Didn't technically release in early access.
Yeah.
But it was effectively early access.
Yeah.
And they've been progressively getting more updates and updates to fix that game.
Well, they had to scramble to fix it, probably.
Yeah. But it was early access.
Yeah. See, with my personality, I would have given up on the game already. Had I bought it, I wouldn't have played the newest best update, just because I would have just moved on. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people.
That's sad because you'd be
Yeah.
robbing yourself of a really good experience.
It's
because
but it's too late.
That's my mentality. It's like, you lost me. I'm not. That's why I'm not into early access games. Because if I'm playing the game,
people by saying early access on there if it
I don't
is
know.
like that?
It depends on the mentality, because like you'll lose people like John, but with
Yeah.
me, in terms like going back to reviews, I understand that this thing is buggy as hell. I would review it for the gameplay and what it could be, like
but-
what they're envisioning,
Yeah.
and are they making their way towards their vision? And if not, then I will downvote it.
Yeah, but you're not losing John when it says early access. You're just losing him for that moment. He'll
Yeah,
go
I
back
will
to it.
gladly check out the game when it's
Which I
released,
feel like that's a
full
lot of
game.
people. Like, I'm kind of on board with that too, unless if it's a game that I'm truly passionate about. Like, if tomorrow they had an early access Mirror's Edge game, I'd be on that fucking shit right
Wow.
now. Like, I'd be like, "Where's? Give me here, take
Yeah.
double the money. I don't care. Fucking go
So
for it, guys."
here's
I don't
That's
know.
what I get to.
I think that, so specifically with the term early access, I think in a mainstream audience, Fortnite has changed that connotation.
Yeah, that is true.
True.
well,
That
first
is
of all,
true.
it's
So
free to
to
play
a
too.
Yeah, it's pretty.
a mainstream, not hardcore like video game news reading enthusiast, early access doesn't mean bad, buggy garbage to them. If anything, it means cool. I get to play this game earlier than other people, maybe.
I feel like
True.
free to play games should be exempt from this conversation, because like League of Legends was
It was
free to play,
a
like
trash heap when it came out,
terrible,
but people.
but it was
loved
always
it.
free to play, and it's one of the biggest games out there right now.
Right.
Yeah, but they were still charging people.
What?
Just because it
That's
was out for
nice.
free
Yeah.
didn't mean they weren't
Cosmetics.
charging
When
people
it
for skins
first,
to play
Yeah.
the game.
No.
That's
no,
how they
I'm not
make
talking about
money.
the skin though. No, when the PC version first came out, they did sell a solid copy for $30.
Oh.
In beta.
Well, that's how Smite did it too.
No, the
You
difference
can
is
get the God
Smite
pack.
sold you all the characters for $30.
Right. No, in order to
League sold you the game, and then you had to buy the characters on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
correct. I mean, like, don't.
Well,
I'm
to
not
each their own.
1,000% sure there was a download where you could get it, but I remember seeing there's a hard copy of the game that you could buy to play the early access version of it.
Well, I didn't need to experience that, so I came after that train,
but it still happened.
I guess.
Uh,
Did people complain about it?
I'm sure there was, but that was over 10 years ago, so I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever.
I feel
But
like they
anyways-
did lose audiences because of that. I want to ask Joey. So so I looked. I had 29 hours in DayZ, so that was a lucky ass guess. I do have some fond memories of playing the game with you. So I will say that, so I don't fully regret everything that I put into there. My biggest gripe was the whole time I was playing it, it's called DayZ, there wasn't zombies. Are there fixed, good working zombies now?
There are much better zombies. The zombies have much better AI pathing, and there's a lot more of them.
Okay.
But I think that the actual hit collision meshes with them when it comes to melee attacking is still kind of janky.
After how many? Because I bought it in 2014. It came out in 2013, I believe. So
That's
it's
the
been
type of thing that
7
I'm not
years.
sure they're ever going to be able to fix
right.
because of the nature of the engine that the game is running on.
So they need to
Bummer.
either recreate the game on a new engine or figure out a way to pay someone bigger than them to fix it.
Yeah. And actually, I think that Bohemia Interactive has effectively done that because they have another game that's similar in theming to DayZ called Vigor that is also out now, or I think it's out. I think it might be out on Xbox in early access, but it runs on a different engine that runs better. So
Right.
Right.
Okay, so I mean that was my biggest gripe with the game. It's I'm playing a zombie game, and it was fine because like I said multiple times, I'm not a big zombie fan. I bought it to play with you and Charlie at the time. So when there was no zombies, it was whatever. I'm just playing it. At that time, that was one of the first, what are they called? Battle arenas, right? Technically.
Well, no, because DayZ
It was a
isn't
survival.
really. It's more open-ended survival than a battle royale.
It felt like it.
It's
though.
not like Well, that was only because, like, especially when we played, there wasn't very much non-combative things to do. So most players just went and got guns and then killed each other.
So
Whereas,
it is more of a survival thing.
yeah, nowadays you see a lot more like role playing and base building and like farming and
But you can still
stuff like
kill
that.
each other, and
Oh
ultimately,
yeah,
at the end of the game, you are trying to just survive as the
yeah.
last person. Okay.
Well, no, not as the last person because it's not like when you die you get kicked off the server.
Oh, that's right. I haven't played it in so long. So you
Yeah,
just die and get your new stuff, or you get
yeah.
like
You just
back to
respawn
0.
with yeah. You got a fresh spawn.
Okay, I remember now.
It's like Minecraft.
That was a pain in the ass. I remember
What?
dying and then having to find you again.
Yeah, yeah. That's really where the pain in the ass in that game is. It's
The-
like no maps and stuff like that, and how big it is.
That is rough. Okay, I have some fond memories of it, but 30 hours, it didn't warrant the $30 for me, in my opinion. But I'm glad I got the experience at least. Um, did we want to wrap up this and go into the indie game quickie really quick?
Yeah, let's bang out the indie game
Yeah,
quickie.
Bang it.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna let Garrick lead the discussion on indie game quickie this week because they're both. Oh wait, no, John first. Actually, this is his game.
Oh wow, John.
Well,
Go on.
well, this is there's this game
Oh
called
wow, I love it.
it's not out yet, but the release date's coming soon. But the developers posted on Reddit, and I thought it was freaking dope.
It
It's called
doesn't-
Void Train. Um, pretty much you start out on like your own little tiny choo-choo train, and you can
Oh,
customize this choo-choo train while it's going, just floating through the void. And there's like
okay.
creatures. It's pretty much like Subnautica, or the game we're playing on stream, a raft.
Oh,
So
raft
you kind of
on a train.
on a train.
It looks
in
really
void.
cool. Like you're tethered
Like-
to the train
It's
with
very
grappling
interesting.
hooks and grabbing
Yeah,
scrap.
Yeah, so you're like when you're going to void, you're kind of floating. You're tethered to your train, and you
I'm
can
down.
grab resources. There's like
Looks really
freaking
cool.
flying monsters and flying like space whales and shit. It looks really cool. But yeah, so I'm keeping my eye on
Aliens.
it.
You gonna get it with us, Joey?
Uh,
It's on my watch list.
I'll
Uh,
think about it. I'll
But
Let
look
me
when it does
at
ask,
it.
come out,
John.
Mhm.
Will this be in early access?
No idea, but I'm not gonna get it if it's on the early access.
How about you tell us about your other baby, your snow baby,
My snow baby. Wait, what?
your
Snow
snow trucker baby?
Snow trucker baby.
Snow baby.
That's coming out at the end of the month.
Bad North. I didn't put that game
Baby?
down.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Why don't you tell us about it?
What?
And if you'll get
Snow-
it if it's
snow
in
baby.
early access.
Wait, what?
Wait, Bad North?
Uh,
What's
Snow
the-
trucker?
Bad North. I didn't add.
No,
Oh,
s-
snow trucker.
Wait, but what?
The truck driving. Game
Yeah,
where you're in
that's
the
not an
snow.
early access game. That's a full release
It's gonna
game.
be a full release game. But what is
That's-
it called again?
That's not an indie game either.
Yeah.
SnowRunner.
SnowRunner. There you go. It's not indie.
No.
Who's it by?
It is boy.
Snow
It's-
Runner.
Okay.
Let me do a little Google.
yeah, go
Google,
ahead and
Google.
do that. Garrett, go
Is
ahead
it
and talk
about
about
trucking?
your
Saber
game.
Interactive.
Wow.
Huh.
Cool.
I thought that was
They
an indie
made
game
a-
for some reason. Well,
Okay.
that's his baby right now. That's all he talks about. So that's why I was
Is
bringing
it?
it up.
I've never heard him talk about any of that.
Well, it's just if you guys watch the stream, it's
Well, I'm sorry. I have things to do.
Billy Bob loves trucks, so
Oh wow.
Yeah.
that's why trucks.
This is a little hint for anyone that will actually spend the time listening to the whole podcast.
Spoilers, God.
Hint. They don't know.
All right, Peach, Garrick,
Garrick.
I think you did that. North, Bad North.
Oh wow. Yes.
$8, $9 on sale. Wow, tell us
It's-
about this on
it's
sale
a
game.
Great deal, and they offer a demo too. So if you don't
What?
want to pay for it right now, you can try Bad North now
You can give them
for
an IOU note.
free.
I just want
Um,
to recommend their Joy
okay.
Pillaging with
It was
Robert
amazing.
Ragnar Ross, their little Bob Ross commercial
Spoof. It was so good.
Oh wow.
Go on, PJ. I mean, Garrick.
Okay. So Bad North has been out for a little while. It's been out for what, about a year, a little
know.
over almost 2 years.
First time I've heard this.
And it's a action roguelike
What?
strategy game where you have a few squads of your own defenders per se,
Vikings.
where you're defending the island against Vikings.
Oh, you're
and-
defending.
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I
So-
thought you were the Vikings. Okay, yeah. Okay.
No. It's really fun. I didn't think I would put as much hours as I thought I would have in this tiny game, but it's very replayable, and you can you have like different play styles that you can do. You can do all swordsmen or archers and stuff, and it's procedurally generated, so it's always different every single time. And the enemies are really, really interesting. They keep you on your toes, and the difficulty is well balanced. So um, it's pretty fun. I highly recommend it. It's normally $15. I think I bought it not on sale. I don't
Oh
remember, but
no.
right now it's $9. It's worth full price either way. It's definitely a game I come back to every like. I come back to it very often. So because
How long are
it's a
the
simple game.
matches?
The what? So what do you mean matches?
Like the on like a
Levels.
round or something.
Yeah.
A
The
level.
the round
Yeah.
it's maybe 2 to 4 minutes at the most.
Okay.
Oh, that's
It's
Cause I
pretty short.
cause I see
because
it's on PC,
uh-huh.
Switch, Xbox One, iOS, and Android. It's like if that might
Oh,
be a good
it's a
pooping game.
yeah. This is a
Yeah,
pooping game
exactly.
for all of
It's
y'all.
Yeah, I
yeah,
might have to try it out
exactly.
then.
Um,
What are
and
the moves?
so pretty much you work your way to the end, the final boss island, and it's just a crazy game that really challenges your thought process. And it involves a lot of microing. You have to micro your units very much, so like you have to move your pikemen in front of your archers and stuff. So if you enjoy that type of gameplay, I highly recommend it.
Okay, yeah,
It's
I'll check
only
it out.
$2.49 on mobile, actually.
Oh, even
Oh,
better.
what a deal!
I might look
I can use
into
my
that.
Google
Your Google
Yeah, I
Money.
would like to hear if you
monies.
guys get it. I would like to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay, dokie.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that does look cool. So you said it's a roguelite though, but how are you sure it's a roguelite or do you mean like an RTS strategy or what is it?
It's kind of a roguelike because you can customize your squads.
It's
Um
permadeath and stuff like that.
it is permadeath, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so if your squad
Interesting.
dies, you have to purchase or you have to unlock a new squad by going to a different
Do
island.
you fully control the squad throughout the whole interaction or is it like is it
It's
hexagonal
it's
movement or what is it?
so the squad just fights where they're at.
So
So it is
you do move
uh
the squad though.
yeah,
So it's like a tower defense kind of thing.
kind of, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
with
you
the squad.
position where the squad is going
Hmm.
to start attacking from, and then they
Yeah.
kind of do their own thing from there on.
Huh.
Well, no. You
Not cool.
they only fight where you put them.
Oh, it's a RTS
So
roguelite. That's what it says right here.
yes, yeah, that's what I yeah,
That's what I said.
that's what I
I
thought
didn't
I
hear it
said
say
too.
RTS. I just heard roguelite.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, so basically you just use choke points, you use the terrain, like I said, it's procedurally generated. You use the terrain and use the strengths of your units against their units. So it is a lot of rock, paper, scissors too. So like for example, they have archers coming on boats. Obviously you don't use unshielded people to aggro them. So it's a lot of tactics. I really, really think this is a great game and needs more attention.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll
Yeah,
take a
check it
look
out.
at that. That will be our assignment for the week.
Okay, I got
Since
homework
it's so
to
cheap
God.
on mobile.
Mr.
I
PJ.
don't want homework.
I don't want homework.
Well, I'll at least try to do the assignment if I can
Well,
scrap up
also
40 cents.
there's a demo on, like I said, there's a demo on Steam if you want to
Oh,
try
yeah,
it
we
there
can do the demo.
first.
But I
And it's
can't
on
bring my
sale too.
I can't bring my computer to my bathroom while
Well,
He
I
needs to
can't
censor
help
while
you
he's
there.
pooping.
Gotta do
Um,
my pooping.
And then just to wrap things up, we talked about this game a couple weeks ago in the indie game quickie, Creature in the Well. I was saying that
Oh,
it's kind of a
Spoopy.
pinball action game. I guess it's kind of funky. So what you do?
It was.
funky.
Yeah, I was streaming a little bit on Discord. I actually got it on Xbox.
watched
And
it.
so you have two weapons. One is to juggle these little ping pong balls that like come up from the ground and just continuously respawn after a certain point. And you can hold up to 3 and it you can charge it up to a certain extent and just sit there until they all charge. The charge point and the amount of balls that hit do a certain amount of damage, and there's like little modifiers on the map that give you points and energy. And there's like I guess there's little classical ping pong like motion detectors and stuff, and then there's also turrets that shoot at you, and like there's a boss, the creature that's in the well, like throwing what are they? I guess they're like floating mines, air mines at you. So there's a bunch of little things that you use throughout the game that you have to like aim the ping pong balls at. It's very convoluted and it sounds all over the place, and I that's the best way to explain it. John was watching me and he said it looks like you're just running around in circles, and that's what it feels like sometimes, and it is hard to aim.
Yeah,
but
I
it
couldn't
is
tell what you're doing.
it's super fun. It is super fun, but it's
It's
also
definitely
very
not a fun
frustrating.
game to watch.
No, it wouldn't be a fun
It
game
was-
to watch, and I feel like it's very frustrating. It's kind of like you have to be in that mindset ready to deal with it. It does get harder and harder as the game progresses. Like I'd say it gets exponentially hard after the first like act, because I've completed like the first section and I'm on the second section now, and I just got to the second quote unquote boss battle, and
Oh.
it's just like I'm trying to aim these little ping pong balls with an analog stick into this little tiny sliver in a wall to
God.
hit these little turrets, and it's like holy shit. But anyhow, check it out if you guys are interested. I would wait for it to go on sale, to be honest with all of you. I think it's $15.
Let me ask something real quick about
Yeah.
the controls.
Yeah.
Is it dual stick or single stick?
Dual. So the left stick is controlling the character and the way that you're aiming, and then the right. Oh, you know what? I'm not even thinking about
Wow.
that.
So it's
Oh,
single
no.
stick, right?
It is single stick, so it does like so when
That's why it feels bad.
that might be it. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that because I wasn't.
Because I thought about that when you brought up that you like attack with the face buttons. I was like, that's dumb. You should attack with the bumpers or the
Right,
triggers.
and I changed the settings to be the bumpers. So basically, whenever you're charging up your abilities, you can only aim, and then when you're not charging up your abilities, you can move your character. So that's how they get around that. And that's where the
Oh.
challenge comes into play. So I wonder if there's a way for me to change it to where I can aim with the other analog stick. I'll look into that. But I did change the controls to the bumpers. So, and I noticed immediately how much easier that was because I'm not trying to press the same button twice or with one finger.
Yeah.
2 buttons with one finger. So I'll maybe give it another assessment next week. But I wanted to report that one of the indie games that I said anything about is decent. I wouldn't say it's the best indie game I've ever played, but maybe a 6 out of 10.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
But that wraps it up for this week.
Yep. That
Yeah,
wraps
that's
it
cool.
up for our show. Go ahead and check
we have-
out Cameraman John on
Wait, what?
Twitch.
Oh god.
Oh wow.
Because what days do we normally stream on
Can't-
Twitch?
Monday, Wednesday,
Monday,
Friday,
Wednesday,
maybe
Friday.
Saturday, Sunday. I don't know. Whenever I feel like it. Don't.
Sometimes
You're not my
weekends.
mom.
Monday, Wednesday,
So,
Friday,
yeah, come-
6 or 7 o'clock at night for right now, and then optional weekend.
Mm.
That's a better
Yep.
answer.
Check out Cameraman John's podcast.
Yeah, so you can come over. We're usually all
Wait, what?
there. Hang out with us live.
Wow.
Chat
we'll
with
answer
us
all
in
your
the chat.
questions.
All
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
You
Tell
don't
us
get
what-
you don't just get John. You get all of us right here.
All the
of
peeps.
All of us.
Yes, all of us.
All of us.
So if you like hearing our sexy voices, check us out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
that's a
guys.
Sexy voice.
Anyway, yeah,
Thanks
that's
for
been
listening.
the Phat Peeps podcast episode 10. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
No, thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Joey. Should we have
We'll
Cloudy
catch you guys next time.
sign us off?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Do it,
Cloudy?
John. Sign us off with Cloudy.
Hi, it's me, Cloudy, and it's time to sign off. Thanks for listening. Play PlayStation. Wipe your butt.
Do your thing, Timmy.